We got them down here?
Yeah, they're a couple hundred yards to the left, and probably just try to tail them or at least try to come in off of their sides.
All right, they're home. So Zach had been seeing a nice buck, about a 180 class buck in this area. We come last night, we start glassing in 10 minutes. We spot 4 beautiful bucks. One is this 180 class, really nice 4x4. So sure enough, right at dark, we decide back out. Let's come back here in the morning. That is a pile of elk. Come back in the morning and there's 200 head of elk.
It didn't take us long to spot a small bunch of bachelor bucks. They were grouped up pretty good.
There's gonna be a dozen bucks down there. It's a bunch of deer. They're still bucked up, no rut going on, so they're not chasing does yet. Those deer couldn't care less, could they?
No, they're not really bothered by them. They'll go down to the fields and feed together all the time, really. You see one 4x4.
And then we could finally see what I was pretty sure was that nice 4x4 180 class buck that we saw the night before. Yeah, the elk are coming right up on them.
Yeah.
So we knew our guy was in there. We had seen several good bucks, not just that one. But we had to wait for these elk to clear out. Those bucks are just hanging out. They're not going anywhere. Do they just bed down out there?
They very well could.
Yeah.
They feel like they're pretty secure out in that bitter brush.
What do you want to try and do?
Looks like everything's moving into the wind, so we'll just kind of trail down back behind and use those little ravines down there. I think our guy's in there, though. They're towards the back of them.
Yeah, it's got to be with that many bucks down there. All right. Yeah. Watching a river of elk flow past a dozen bachelor bucks made it clear that this vast expanse of open land held ideal habitat. Zach and I had laid eyes on a shooter 4x4 on the first evening, so I knew there was mule deer gold in these hills. I have only to mind the right location. I hunted Oregon years ago, and it was amazing to me just how many elk there were here, how big the mule deer were. It's one of these places you don't think of Oregon as having this kind of fantastic hunting. You think of Montana, Colorado, Wyoming, but let me tell you, Oregon is an absolute gem for big game hunters.
So the Antone Ranch is a really special place. The hunting's world class. It's just one of those really special places that people really just, it stays with them for the rest of their life.
So this is 40,000 acres?
Yeah, right there, right close to 40,000 acres.
Well, it's ideal cover. I tell you, just the mix of such good food with cover so close by makes it really easy to hold a lot of critters. This landscape is so productive. I mean, you look here, there's hardly been a minute I've been on this ranch that I haven't been looking at deer, elk, antelope, or a combination thereof. I mean, it's just such a rich environment of game. It's just fun to be here.
The deer and elk are really smart in this country. They have been hunted by not only humans, but by plenty of other predators. So they like to leave feeding areas with their nose stuck to the wind, like right in their faces. So they were feeding through that area with their nose in the wind. We decided to just come in, and flank them a little bit.
The wind is crosswind. It's not blowing toward them. We figured we've got this really nice setup here. Boy, it's a mess of antlers in there, isn't it?
Yeah, I gotta get these guys to line out a little bit. Or else.
Get them to open up a little bit, or we're not gonna be able to tell what's what.
When has it ever been a problem to see too many bucks, right? It's almost like, geez. We thought that was a great place just to set up. It looked like they were gonna be coming through some openings. Lead bucked at 275.
And so we waited and we waited and we waited. Never came out.
Yeah, let's work our way up there just a bit.
So we started just inching forward, using these junipers just kind of as little screens.
Yeah, he's that 5x3, but he's got that sticker off his right side.
They're kind of angling this way like they might come out more in the open here.
Yep, I saw that.
And all of a sudden, the bucks start one by one filing out across the open. This is gonna be perfect.
All right, they're coming out to the right.
Well, I like the direction they're heading. It's perfect.
Oh man, yeah.
Is that him coming? No, that's 2x2. You know, we know which buck we're after here. As soon as he steps out, I got a lane, we're on him. That's our guy right there.
No.
Huh?
I think he might be the narrow one.
You sure?
Yeah, he's a good 4, but he's the narrow 4.
Okay. 1 goes, 2 goes, 3 goes, 4 goes, 5 goes. Here's another one.
Another 3x3 coming through.
It's like, where's the rest of them? Where's the big guy? Do you see the other bucks back there?
I do, but I just can't see
Enough. Huh?
Yeah.
Where are those other deer? They didn't get the memo, apparently. So we waited, we waited, we waited. Finally, these other deer just took off. The other bucks were not going to come out and follow them, so we had to go in after them. So we kept going closer and closer till finally we lost any sight of them, assuming they had dropped over this little bit of a ledge. Just left, he wasn't spooked, so they got to be just over this lip somewhere. Come right up that lip. They're going to be somewhere up there. They're not going to see us. They're not going to smell us. That was the idea anyway.
All of a sudden, just off to our right, they pop up.
See that four?
Eyes on the move.
He's cutting over.
Yeah.
That's him.
Second one.
Damn
Just
it.
a white butt going over the hill.
They go trotting off, and there goes our 180 4x4 into the wind. Somewhere yonder. You son of a gun. I know why it's called bitter brush, I'll tell you that.
Bitter.
Bitter. The saving grace, it was the first morning. We were in a lot of action, and it was just going to continue. Damn.
So this morning we came up here to some hay fields. We're just out on the fringes. There's a lot of sagebrush and juniper on the outside here and some good canyons. And a lot of times the deer like to filter off of these fields. So we're just trying to pick up horns and bodies inside of all this brush and all this good camouflage that they have.
You just have to take your time, like a lot of the hunting in the West. Take your time, get really good quality optics like the Bushnells I was using, and just dissect this country bit by bit by bit. There you go. That's a big-bodied deer. I can just make out antler that far away, but it's a big-bodied buck.
You know, even with the optics at that distance, we could pick up a sizable rack on this guy. Oh man. He's a 4x5, but he's got a sticker off on his right side.
It's way out there, way out on that north end.
Yeah.
He's just outside of his ears, but he's real
heavy
deep.
and he's tall.
You see that sticker off
I'd
his
shoot,
right side
I'd
too?
shoot that deer. Yeah, you'd shoot that deer for sure. It's on the backside of that long point there.
Pretty much a drop off.
Just a drop off. So if they come out here, they're kind of trapped, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
They're running.
Yep.
That big guy shows, doesn't he?
Oh yeah. Elk right behind.
So they're all kind of running to the same point, huh? And at a certain point, maybe 400 or 500 yards away from where they were sort of just milling around,
Just as they're gonna go out of sight, kind of right on the skyline, this buck decides, well, I don't think I'm gonna go with those guys. I'm gonna peel off.
classic big buck behavior right there. Anytime they get pressured, these big deer invariably split off and they go their own direction by themselves, typically not with another deer. And that's exactly what he did. He dropped down below. Look at that. That is just textbook. How cool is that? He's got really nowhere to go there, though.
No, he keeps coming off of this side. There's really no game trail or anything.
Yeah, he's definitely calming down. He's moving slower. Meander down, you can see him just kind of looking around, checking out his environment.
Right by the little juniper.
Yep.
It's a good spot for him.
He's gonna bed down right there, and that's where we're gonna kill him.
Oh, there he goes.
Yep. Okay.
So once he bedded down, we thought, all right, this is our opportunity.
Get back into the ram, head all the way around this canyon, miles to get all the way back around to where he was.
Drove down off the top of the rim rock and the hill that we were on through some pretty rocky terrain and tried to get ourselves back around to that area as quick as we could. We get to the finger that we feel that the buck is on and worked our way down.
God, he's gotta be here somewhere. So we go inching up and we finally see the juniper where we had him marked. We could see the top of it because of the curve, couldn't see the bottom, assumed he was right there, bedded down. I think that was the tree right there. We knew we had him. We knew he was gonna be there. It was gonna be a quick shot. It's one of those things that's just an epic ambush situation. Guns at port arms, it's like we're going in over a pointing dog trying to flush this thing. And then boom, we could see he was gone. You know, we could see the base of that tree. He was out of there. We kept looking around. Maybe he moved down.
he just, you know, he just vanished, which I'm sure he's done a few different times on people and predators and whatnot.
Where the heck would he have gone? He was nowhere to be found. So it's one of those deals where we figured he had to stay around this hayfield. He loved that food source. We saw him there earlier. We didn't spook him out of here. He just left. Son of a gun.
5 pretty good up-and-coming bucks all together out there.
Mm-hmm. It's a pretty good life they got out here.
Sleeping and eating. It's about all they do. As soon as that sun over here dips down over the hill and casts a shadow across this field, we'll start probably seeing those more mature bucks come out, and I'm sure that that's when we'll see that guy we've been chasing most of the day decide to come back out. And
put the ram in whisper mode and cloak it and let's go.
We head out early afternoon to a vantage point. We want to get it back on that same big buck. We decided that he was probably one of the better ones that anybody had seen, any of the other guys had seen.
It's getting late now. It's the last light of the day, and Zach pulls out the spotting scope, looks way across this field. This is like 2 miles away.
Sure enough, I start glassing some antlers, start glassing some racks a little bit closer, and then I see a rack that stands out just a little bit better than the rest, and then sure enough, it's the buck we're after.
And we just go hustling. At that point, we got to hustle to get down there, get on the edge of this little ravine, drop down off the field so we've got this little bit of an angle, start inching up, going slower and slower, and then finally pop up, and there he is. He's about 275, 300 yards away.
We know that we're gonna be exposed. We know we need to crouch.
There's a bunch of sets of eyes, but they're not at all spooked.
We're squatted down about as much as we can.
Stay low.
Chris gets set up on his sticks.
There is a ridge. 273.
I'm watching the buck. We see that he's bunched up with some other bucks, and
He's got one right behind him, doesn't he? It's the tail.
Yeah, they're stacked up on each other.
as a guy, you always want to make sure that the shooter realizes that there are more than one animal around.
Moving left. Moving right to left. Wait till he clears.
He's just got to clear that other one. That's a good buck.
Dandy.
Finally, he takes a couple of steps out.
Okay, looks like he's cleared. Yeah, he's cleared. Wait till he stops.
Here we go. Here we go. You ready?
Yeah.
Here we go. Finally, he clears. He had another buck right behind him. Here we go. Here we go.
Yeah, he's clear.
Watch him.
That's a hit. That's a hit.
Watch him. Watch him.
That's it.
Takes the shot. Great shot. Right off the bat, I could see the impact. I could see the buck. He wasn't going to go anywhere.
Yeah, he's down.
Bada bing, dude. We finally caught up to him, huh? How's that for a full day of action?
Man.
What
All
a
day
spot. I tell you what, I don't know how you saw him all the way across that field, dude. That
Great
is a
shot.
nice buck, man. Thank you, sir. That is a really beautiful buck. Talk about last light, huh? It was heaven sent. It was just like it should have been scripted, but to catch up with that buck, after seeing it all morning, watching it for so long, seeing how it behaved like such a big behemoth mature buck, I mean, it comes full circle, and that is so much fun when you get an animal like that, because you got a relationship. You're not hunting mule deer, you're hunting a mule deer. And when you close the deal on an animal like that, especially one as epic as this buck was, buddy, that's a memory for a lifetime right there. That is a cool, cool buck right there.
He's just as tall almost as he is wide.
Yeah, and just look at that mass too. Look at the mass all the way out. He carries it. That's just an old champion right there, man. He's a warrior. The Antone Ranch, man. You got some giants out here and you got tons of deer. Amazing property, just absolutely amazing.
Jim Bazinius, the ranch owner, he says it may be the biggest buck that we've ever taken off of the Antone Ranch. And he ended up with, I mean, one of the better bucks that I've seen in, 20 plus years of hunting.